I never thought I would learn English because English is not my first language, of course. I come from Zambia, where I grew up speaking a local language. English is the official language of Zambia, but I didn't speak it. When I was in high school, I only spoke Bemba, which is the native language I grew up speaking. I started taking learning English seriously in grade 10, 11, there, the end of high school, somewhere there. Why? I was like, why can't I speak English? I'm almost done with high school and I can't speak the language. What am I doing wrong? Why is school not helping me speak the language? We used to learn English, of course, exercises, grammar, all those things, writing, composition, and stuff, but that never really helped me speak the language. I was only good on paper. I could write long essays and all that, but I couldn't make several sentences in my mouth, like speak an idea to people. I don't know. If you have learned a language, you know what I'm talking about. There is just blockage. You can't speak because you don't speak the language. The only reason you might fail to speak is because you don't speak the language. Even when I started speaking English, I used to make several mistakes. Even now, I make mistakes all the time. I make them while recording videos. I make them all the time. I just cut them. Of course, when there is a mistake, I cut the mistake out. So, how did I learn English? I started putting in some effort, reading books, of course. I started reading some stories, children's stories, then moved to novels. I've read a few novels, not a lot, but a few novels, maybe five or six novels. Those were difficult to read. I don't know. I don't even know how I managed to finish those novels, but I did anyway. I started putting in some effort. Watched the BBC, learning English. What other things did I use to do? Of course, YouTube. I watched a lot of YouTubers. There are a lot of YouTubers which teach English. I used to watch them as well. I just started putting in the effort in my English. Even after that, I couldn't speak. I don't know why. I couldn't speak. I had the English in my head, but I couldn't speak. So, what happened is that I started using the language more. I started using the language. I started speaking the language. I saw some improvement. That's when the realization came. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's the only way. I started practicing English. I discovered this platform called Free for Talk. Free for Talk, some of you, if you're learning a language, you might know Free for Talk. That's where I started practicing more and speaking to foreigners, Indian people. There are a lot of Indians on Free for Talk. I talked to a lot of Indian people, people from the UK, people from America. If you want to learn a language, go there. I would really recommend Free for Talk if you want to improve your English skills or your communication skills. I'm not the best at communication, but I do think I have improved. I didn't speak a single word in English. Of course, I used to speak a single word. I was able to say, "How are you? I'm fine, thank you. I'm from Zambia." Those small stuff, of course. But speaking an idea, thoughts, your exact thoughts, that was really hard for me. Making a long sentence come out, a long paragraph just come out from my mouth, I wasn't able to do that. I'm not a good orator, but if you are able to notice, I am able to speak. I speak slowly now. Why? Because I think if you really want to communicate something, you need to learn how to slow down. Slow down. That's really important because if you speak really fast, you will mess up, especially if you're speaking a language which is not yours. You will mess up. It happens all the time. I make mistakes all the time. I haven't become an expert at English or anything like that. Just slow down if you're struggling with English or any language. Slow down. Give yourself some time. That's one communication tip I've learned. I've learned to slow down my speech. That's why I speak slowly because I want the brain to take its time to construct a good sentence that is sensible to the other person. In fact, a good example I can give is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs used to take his time. I'll give you a video of Steve Jobs answering a question. He used to take his time. I'll download the video and show you.
A few more, and yeah.
What's the most important thing that you personally learned at Apple that you're doing it next?
Good question. Um, I'm not sure I learned this when I was at Apple, but I learned it based on the data when I was at Apple. And that is, I now take a longer term view on people. In other words, when I see something not being done right, my first reaction isn't to go fix it. It's to say, we're building a team here and we're going to do great stuff for the next decade, not just the next year. And so what do I need to do to help so that the person that's screwing up learns versus how do I fix the problem? And that's painful sometimes. And I still have that first instinct to go fix the problem, but that's taking a longer-term view on people is probably the biggest thing that's changed. And then I don't know, that's, maybe the part that's biological, but yes.
If you notice how Steve Jobs speaks, he let his brain think, construct proper sentences. If you're struggling with speaking, do that. Take your time. It will help really well. Think of any successful person. They know how to communicate, they know how to share ideas. If you don't know how to share your ideas are worthless. If you don't execute on them, they're worthless. You need to learn how to share ideas as well as execute them. If you share ideas, you will find someone who might help you. If you have an idea of building an app or a company and you don't have help, you need to have the skill of sharing that idea, explain to the person who might help you in a way you can understand. You can see the importance of communication. It is really helpful. It might help you succeed in life. Very important. Of course, speaking really fast can give you an upper hand. You need to speak normal, maybe relatively fast. A good example I can give is Andrew Tate. Whether you like the guy or don't, we can all agree that Andrew Tate is a good orator. He's able to share his ideas, he's able to speak his mind very quickly. That can give you an upper hand. And it is good if you are comfortable speaking fast, speak fast, react really quickly. Don't underestimate the power of speed. Speed is really powerful. In fact, I would like to speak a little bit faster, but I do allow myself to speak slowly because the most important thing is making a meaningful sentence that can be understood by the other people. So one tip I can give you is to slow down. The next tip is to read books. 3. Speak. Just speak. Read any books you are interested in, novels, non-fiction. Non-fiction, you can also read fiction books. They can also help with that. The point is improve your vocabulary. If you don't have words, how do you think you're going to speak? Vocabulary is really important. You will know what to say, which word to use. If you enrich your vocabulary, you will know the right words to use and to communicate properly. The last point I gave is speaking. Of course, speaking is the only way. You either use it or lose it. Start using the language. If it's English, yeah, speak more English. That's the only way you will improve your language skills. That's what I wanted to share in this video. If you're new here, consider subscribing and like the video if you enjoyed this one. I make videos about personal development, making money online, online business in general, because I believe everything is personal development, education, health, everything involves personal development. To learn about the mistakes I've made while trying to make money online, I'll put the video here. You can watch it. I believe it has a lot of value. I will share with you the solutions to the mistakes I made. You can try and watch the video. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Bye.